So, a lot of you guys have asked me to do a video about this Leo full moon that's coming up. And so I'm gonna let's talk about it. So, I always first start with how does the moon behave when it's in a specific zodiac sign because it's important to know. And I also like to remind you that moons go in 6-month cycles. So, when we look at this Leo full moon, I want you to think back to what was going on when the moon was new in Leo, which would have been last August. So think about what was going on in your life then, what you welcomed in, and what maybe you were manifesting into your life around that time. Because in your personal cycle, this will become the culmination. This is when it's pregnant and about to give birth to, when the energy is going to be released, or you'll be finishing out that cycle. Number one. Number two, how does the moon behave when it's in Leo? Well, moon in Leo is actually pretty difficult energy. It demands attention at all times. Its emotional stability depends on people adoring it, people worshiping it, people loving it, being able to be creative, but also be recognized for its creativity. It can be quite a volatile energy because it's so dependent upon other people noticing how it feels and understanding how it feels to feel comfortable with itself. So people with Leo moons can be quite not just emotional, but they can be quite. And once again, this isn't commentary for people with Leo suns. This is Leo moons. They can be quite moody with regards to just not getting attention, not getting enough attention. Of course, it all depends if your natal chart. In your natal chart, if your moon sign is in Leo, but your sun sign is in Aquarius or Sagittarius, then your moon and your sun are trine. So that will really help to stabilize and even out and harmonize that kind of volatile moon energy. Same thing if your sun is sextile to it, if your sun is in opposition to it, because you have a sun in Aquarius and a moon in Leo, well, then number one, you're in this situation now. It means that you were born around the full moon when you were born in Aquarius season when the moon was full. Now, people with that were born around a full moon are very intuitive, they're very psychic, and they're very much capable of great magic, right? And people born around the new moon are very much creators. They're very much initiators. They're people who bring things forth. So anyway, now that we've gotten that out of the way, this moon in Leo, we have to look at what it's aspecting. It happens at 24 degrees 24 degrees Leo, with the sun at 24 degrees Aquarius, and the sun is conjunct to Mercury because Mercury is at 26 degrees Aquarius. What does that mean? Sun conjunct Mercury is bright. It's illumination, it's understanding, it's knowing, it's being able to articulate and communicate yourself very well, understand who you are. At this time, however, Mercury and the sun are square to Uranus. When the sun is square to Uranus, it gets frustrated because it wants to be itself. It wants to assert its own independence. And with a conjunction to Mercury, you're going to be more likely to talk back and insist upon or want to not just confront, but confront or like talk back to and speak back to or other people, like when it comes to your opinions, like you not intentionally contrary, but you'll be more likely to find the words to be able to say what you need to say to dispute whatever it is that you feel that's rubbing up against you. Because when the sun is square to Uranus, it likes to assert its independence. It's challenged by not being able to, or it's challenged. The challenge is it wants to rebel constantly, and that will come out because it's conjunct Mercury in the way that it speaks to people, in the way that we're speaking to people. So what does this mean for the full moon? Essentially what it means is that you're being asked now to understand who the hell you are and want to be, whether or not other people like it, or whether or not you are even comfortable with this newness about yourself. you're being asked to, on a full moon, we're always asked to let something go. You're being asked to let go of whatever it is that has hindered your ability to be and create into this world what you wanted to create, as well as take personal responsibility for ways that you have settled or haven't let yourself really exert your own creativity or do what's right for you, right? It's almost like this is the perfect energy to start doing what's right for you, and to understand. But in order to do that, you first have to understand, well, who am I? Because with the moon square Uranus, with the sun square Uranus, moon square Uranus, those two aspects of the self are saying, am I who I used to be? Do I want the same things? Do I need the same things? And with Mercury conjuncting conjuncting the sun, it'll be easier for us to understand. And with this full moon in Leo, to release the ideas of the self that we had that were holding us back from being able to live in the full self that we are now. You know what I'm saying? This is about being able to release and let go of whatever it was that was those personal beliefs in ourselves that are hindering our opportunities in front of us now because of who we thought we were, or who maybe we feel stuck having to be. And with Uranus thrown in the mix, we could really surprise ourselves with what we like now, what we're interested in now, who we're interested in now, who we're attracted to now. Like, all of those things will start to find the power over this full moon to release those preconceived notions that are getting in our way of our own happiness and our own ability to love the life that we're in and love the skin that we're in because of what we're used to wanting or what we think we're expected to want. Those are the things, that's where the square comes in, where that will really start to challenge you, and you'll really start to see that. I love that Mercury is in the mix, because you'll be able to be consciously aware of and understand intellectually and pragmatically that, oh, I need to get this stuff out of the way. I'm allowed to release these old desires. I'm allowed to release these old stereotypes of myself, because they're stopping me from looking over here in this place that I never looked at before, that actually has something that I really love and I really like. And I'm interested in this now. And maybe I never was before, but that's okay, because I'm not who I was before. So with this release of those blockages that are holding us back, and ways in which we're holding ourselves back, comes this new beautiful permission for us to get a little weird, not necessarily what the world considers weird, but weird for us, strange for us, something that we've never tried before, something that we've never done before, simply because it interests us, and we need to be in this creative modality now. Leo is very creative energy. In fact, it's the heart of creative energy. Leo rules the fifth house. Fifth house is where you find things like romance and creativity. Romance, what is it? Romance is idealism. So this energy of constantly looking to the ideal and creating, reaching for the ideal, is very Leo energy. So when the moon is in Leo and the sun is in Aquarius, it wants to be, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. It wants to be creative and think outside the box. We have this energy of, I don't want to be held inside my little box anymore. But since the moon and the sun both deal with the self, it's like, how am I holding myself back? How am I holding my own creativity back? And it usually has to do with like comfort zones that we've gotten to settle in. Oh, this is who I am. This is what people expect of me. This is what I have to be. This is the kind of work that I have to do. This is the kind of people that I have to date. These are the kind of friends that I have to have. No, Uranus is in the mix, and it says, switch it up. You now have permission to rebel against your own preconceived idea of self. And you have a right to let it go. In fact, I'm going to bother you and irritate you and frustrate you until you let it go. And the universe is speaking to us now with this full moon and saying, I'm giving you permission to let it go. I'm giving you permission to give yourself permission to get a little funky, get a little weird, get a little experimental, and do for yourself like give yourself the bandwidth to actually be creative again. Remember, creativity is a beautiful process. It's a process that doesn't have a measured, scheduled process. It is, you do one thing and then it inspires you to go to another thing, and then it inspires you to go to another thing. And this isn't distraction. This is creation. This is creativity as it goes from one step to another. And so you really let God in the process of production, because you're just allowing yourself to be led by everything that you see. Once one step is completed, you move on to the next based on the step you just created. So creativity is a process, and this full moon is asking us to get creative again with ourselves, to break out of those preconceived notions and these boxes we've been stuck in, and allow ourselves to get a little bit weird and a little bit funky and reinvent who we are, and recognize that change is life. It's part of the process. And every once in a while, we even need to surprise ourselves. This moon is going to be particularly powerful for people who, of course, at the end of Leo season, Leo Virgo cusps, that would be anybody who is like, let me see, the birth dates would probably be like August 15th through the 25th. That's even the beginning of Virgo, because it's at 24 degrees, right? So it's toward the end of Leo. Of course, Aquarius, it's going to be very powerful for you guys, end of Aquarius especially. So Aquarius 3s is what I would call you guys. So Aquarius, Pisces cusps. Mercury is in the mix, so Virgos and Geminis are going to be impacted because that's your ruling dignitary. Expect to be inspired by weirdness. Mercury has been square to Uranus for a while now, for this week it's going to be. And Mercury square Uranus, if you guys have been feeling like, oh my God, why is everything breaking down? Why, especially with technology and software, why am I getting so many? It's not working correctly. It's not speaking back to me correctly. Like it's not, why is all this confusion? It feels like a Mercury retrograde. This isn't a Mercury retrograde. It's a Mercury square Uranus. That's going to really frustrate especially technology, because Uranus rules technology. You're going to have challenges with any technology that has to do with communication as well. Watch out for social media glitches, and all of those things could be happening. With Mercury square Uranus, but it's going to basically force us. I love squares especially because they force us out of our comfort zone. They say, I'm going to challenge you now, because what you've always depended on, I'm going to throw a wrench in that works. And now you're going to have to be creative, and you're going to have to do something that you normally wouldn't try if this didn't break or if this wasn't malfunctioning. And that's exactly what I want to introduce you to. It's like the universe is trying to get us to shake the hand of somebody we've never met before. It's trying to get us to go to a class we would have never tried because all the ones we wanted were filled up. So now we got to do this one. We got to try this. Yeah, because that's what the universe wants you to learn. That's what the universe wants you to pay attention to. And so it's redirecting us to those things that are going to surprise us, that we never would have thought of ourselves, but that's what the universe is for. And that's what keeping in connection with God, whether it's through astrology, through prayer, through meditation, through walks in the park, through going to church, whatever it is, keeping in touch with the divine is absolutely essential for our growth, because clearly the divine knows more than we do. So ultimately, this is a way that it's able to articulate it in an everyday, because Mercury is involved, an everyday way. It's disrupting our norm in order to kick us out of our comfort zones and get us to try what we wouldn't have tried, and shake the hand of the person we wouldn't have shaken on our own, because we need to get kicked out of our comfort zone to really get back to the potential that we have inside of ourselves. So yeah, I mean, put the comments below, ask questions if you want. I hope this video has helped, and I love you all, and hope you enjoy the videos. Bye.